Hi everyone, this is Chaos Chrono. Thanks for dropping by. Our last episode we had a great deck, unexpectedly great actually, as I was looking through. Thank you all for your comments and thoughts on my videos, format, and honestly helps motivate me to do this more often. We're moving on to our 8th deck of this box. We'll see if we can stack up against the last episode's deck, but let's get started. We have a yellow Archon. Let's see what the houses are. We have this, Untamed, and Saurians. The deck is named Biologist Aladdin Howlvoid. Nice. Let's get this opened and see what we got. So we'll bring this deck card down there and set this up on the stand. Alright, starting with Untamed, we have Dino Beast, 5 power creature, skirmish. Play, you may exalt Dino Beast. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. Next we have Earthbind. It's an upgrade. Amber when you play it. This creature cannot be used unless its controller has discarded a card this turn. Nice way to lock out a creature on the opponent's side. Chonkers. 1 power creature with skirmish. After an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Chonkers, double the number of +1 power counters on Chonkers. When you play him, give Chonkers a +1 power counter. Nice. Can gradually grow into something huge. Mushroom with a View. Amber whenever you play it, heal 1 damage from each friendly creature. Nice damage control there. Limilou. 4 power creature, Reap. Gain 1 amber for each other friendly beast creature. Bumblebird. 1 power creature with alpha, so you have to play this first. Play. Put 2 +1 power counters on each other friendly untamed creature. Not my favorite card, but can be useful for some decks. Song of the Wild. Action card. Play. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains Reap. Gain 1 amber. Nice way to double up your amber gains. Niffleape. 3 power creature. While Niffleape is attacking, ignore Taunt and Elusive. 2 Niffleapes. Lost in the Woods. Amber whenever you play it. Choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures. Shuffle each chosen creature into its owner's deck. We have 2 of those. Ghost Hawk, 2 power creature. Deploy. You may reap with each neighboring creature, 1 at a time. Moving on to Saurians. We have Xenosaurus, 5 power creature. When you play him, you can exalt him. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. And his fight ability is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand and 1 on the bottom of your deck. Useful fight there. Siren Horn, upgrade. Amber whenever you play it. The creature gains before fight, move 1 amber from the creature to the creature it fights. A lot of these type of cards in Saurians within this set, just controlling the amber that's on your side. Saurian Egg, 1 power 5 armor creature. Amber whenever you play it. Saurian Egg cannot fight or reap. And an Omni effect, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. If you discard any Saurian creatures this way, put them in to play ready, give them 3 +1 power counters, and destroy Saurian Egg. So if you hatch Saurian, it's that much stronger. Thero Centurion, 6 power creature, 1 armor. Player fight, capture 1 amber. 2 Thero Centurions. Faust the Great. Key card in this set, 4 power creature. Your opponent's keys cost +1 amber for each friendly creature with amber on it. When you play him, you may exalt a friendly creature. Nice amber control there, cost control. Curse of Vanity. Amber whenever you play it. It's an action. Exalt a friendly creature and an enemy creature. It's very nice when you don't have a board. Just exalt the enemy. Citizen Strix, 3 power creature, play Reap. Exalt Citizen Strix, steal an Amber. Chant of Hubris, action, Amber whenever you play it. Move 1 Amber from a creature to another creature. Beware the Ides, Amber whenever you play it. Deal 23 damage to a creature in the center of its controller's battle line. Very nice. Axiom of Grisk, play, ward a creature, destroy each creature with no Amber on it, gain 2 chains. And we have 2 of those, so that should be the last card, yep. Moving on to this, we have Screaming Cave. It's an artifact, action. Shuffle your hand and discard pile into your deck. Definitely not one of my favorite artifacts, but it has been used to good effect in other people's decks that I've seen. Snudge, 4 power creature, fight Reap. Return an artifact or flank creature to its owner's hand. Nice board / artifact control. Snarret, 4 power creature. At the end of your turn, capture 1 Amber. Action, move each Amber from Snarret to the common supply. Cinder, 6 power 2 armor creature with taunt. When you Reap with him, destroy a friendly creature. Let's see if there's any good targets for that. We have Mindfire, it's an action. Your opponent discards a random card from your hand. Steal 1 Amber for each bonus icon on the discarded card. Really effective against those high Amber Rush decks with a lot of pips, or with against this set in particular. 2 Mindfires. Mark of this, Amber whenever you play it. Deal 2 damage to a creature. If it's not destroyed, its controller must choose the creature's house as their active house on their next turn. Just 1 copy. Inspector, 2 power creature. When he's destroyed, your opponent purchases a random card from their hand. There's that target for Cinder. We have 2 of those. Gateway to Dis. Play, destroy each creature, gain 3 chains. Nice board wipe. And Brabble, 2 power creature. When he's destroyed, your opponent loses 1 Amber. If it's not your turn, your opponent loses 3 Amber instead. Also a good target for that Cinder. And I think this is the last card, Bonesaw, a 5 power creature. If a friendly creature has been destroyed this turn, Bonesaw enters play ready. That's a very nice effect, especially on a big body. So with that, that's everything in this deck. And I think we have a deck that doesn't have any enhancements. Every pip we saw so far seems to have been native, and I'm just looking over right now. Yes, I don't think we have any enhancements, so this is a no enhancement deck. Let's see what we got. Alright, starting with the Amber generation. We have 4 pips in Untamed, 5 in Saurians, and 1 in Dis. It's a little lackluster on pips, but 10 is about an average number. We have a couple of cards in the middle row here as well that help generate some Amber as well, whether it's through stealing or extra Reaps, and impacting the value of the said Reaps. So with that base 10, we can add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, and I think the Chant of Hubris in this deck can help generate a bit more too. Let's say 15 overall as the expected Amber. Again, there can be more based off creature Reaps and such, which can bring that up a little bit more than 15. But this is just to get an idea, and especially from a rush perspective. Next, I'm going to look at the Amber control. So let me quickly change this up. Okay, with Amber control, it's a bit limited in this deck. I think everybody noticed that going through the deck cards in the first place. But in Untamed, we have 1 pseudo control, and that's on Earthbind if there's any creatures that really help the opponent generate. So that's a pseudo count there. Citizen Strix obviously will steal 1. Thero Centurions will capture 1. Faust will change the key costs for the opponent. Mindfires are less consistent as it depends on hitting cards with Amber pips, so that card can actually vary on performance. Brabble, guaranteed at least 1 when destroyed, up towards the 3, and Snarret will capture 1 at the end of the turn. Mark of Dis I put in the middle row to identify that Mark of Dis can be a useful count towards Amber control, as that locks them out of their generating house. Then it can help delay the opponent and again work in a manner that's similar to Amber control. So again, it's a pseudo count, but not really a true Amber control count. So the true value, I would give it a 6, maybe upwards to 7 or 8, just depending on how those other cards and how Mindfire will work. So anywhere between those numbers would be a good estimate for the Amber control, but your worst nightmare is going to be something that can run up on Amber a lot and you don't have that Faust with you. Moving on, we're going to go towards creature control next. Alright, creature control is looking definitely better, though it might be a little overkill. So in Untamed, we have Earthbind for a single target to prevent their use, Lost in the Woods to send them back into their owner's deck. We have several creatures that we're looking at in terms of board control as well. Niflapes to target anything that's hidden behind Taunt and Elusive. The Dino Beast has that Exalt mechanic, plus it's a skirmish fighter, so also good removal, 2 types in 1 card. Chonkers with skirmish and it keeps growing, so that has huge potential, though I've yet to have a game where that actually worked. In Saurians, we have double Axiom of Grisk, a Beware the Ides, and the Xenosaurus, again with that Exalt function to deal 3 damage. And we have 2 fighters in Theros Centurions that are largely going to be used for that purpose after being played. In Dis, a Mark of Dis, as the 2 damage also counts towards removal, will be listed up there, as well as this function of being able to force the opponent to play a certain house, in which case it prevents them from utilizing any specific card from it, so that if played right, it can be very powerful. Gateway to Dis, a nice board wipe, and Snudge has a function to return flank creatures to their owner's hand, as well as artifacts. And we have a bunch of bodies in Dis as well. Bonesaw and Cinder are good fighters. Imposter is there just in terms of removing cards from play before they're even played, which is again a little bit luck based, so it can kind of work as creature control, but again very pseudo. Same with Mindfire, it's a way to discard cards from their owner's hand, so or the opponent's hand, so you can remove a creature before it's even played, and in that sense it works as creature control. So in terms of giving it an estimate, there's several powerful cards that wipe the board and remove a lot of things. So essentially, what is a board in this deck? With 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's easily in double digits. I'm going to estimate close to 15, 16, just in the nature of having those big board wipes in multiple houses and having a lot of single target options, as well as a lot of bodies. So all those things considered, there is huge board control potential in this deck. Just to mention, artifact control is really just Snudge. There is no other artifact control. So yeah, moving on to speed. We're not looking at a lot of cards that allow for that. If anything, there is plenty of things that slow down the deck, especially with the chains. So we might actually be looking into a bit of the negatives. So I know there's certain cards that are rated in terms of improving efficiency, but for me personally, I don't see them as such. So things like Arise, that bring back cards. It's a good card. It has its place, and in a sense, I do understand why it does help with efficiency, but in terms of speed and cycling through your deck, it actually slows you down because it brings cards back from the discard pile. So cards like that, examples here would be Lost in the Woods. It affects your own creatures as well, especially if you have a board. We have Screaming Cave in Dis, that shuffles your hand and discard pile into your deck. Yeah, so it shuffles all 3 components into your deck again, resetting the deck effectively, which for me, it's definitely a negative in terms of trying to reach the cards you might need. I personally don't really like that card at all, but I've seen it play to good effect, and so I'm not here to knock it. But yeah, overall speed is going to be very slow, with cards that kind of chain you or reset your deck in a way that decreases the speed of this deck. So I'm looking at a negative number right now in my head. So just with the chains, if each chain was a -1, we have 3 chains from Gateway, 4 chains between the 2 axioms. That's 7 right there. So let's say a -5 in terms of speed. With that being said, I think those are the key components we want to look at. We can do an honorable mention in disruption, but it's not that high of a number. It's mainly Mark of Dis, Mindfire, the Purges with Inspector. So like they all count, but they're not like huge disruptions, you know. Not really changing how people play per se. Maybe to protect certain cards, they'll play it down to avoid the Inspectors. So instead of holding on to it for a bigger play. But overall, not huge disruption in this deck. Then Lost in the Woods, obviously we count towards that too. But looking at the total SAS number, again, this is definitely not my playstyle. So I like Saurians in general in this set, not a big fan of. It just feels like a weaker version of the Worlds Collide set. The Untamed in this deck does not have the kit that I want in terms of a Amber generator. It's very board based between Song of the Wild and Limilu to help you generate. Admittedly, there are several beast creatures, so Limilu can be a huge highlight in this deck. Faust the Great, in terms of Amber control, key cost control, that's going to be a huge important creature to protect, but without warding, without like we have taunts, but there's not that many options to protect it and potentially bring it back. So Screaming Cave might be beneficial for that purpose, but again, you're going to be drawing that for that 1 card out of a 36 card deck. So the odds are against you in terms of trying to pull what you need when relying on that card. On the bright side, if you face up against a board-based deck, you have so many options to remove things that, yeah, you will probably be able to try to make use of your pips and cycle through that way, and just keep wiping the board over and over again. Again, it will chain you though, so that's kind of limiting. So with SAS, this deck definitely is on the lower end for me. I want to say 60 on the mark. 10 pips is still okay. In terms of Amber generation, there's some tools in here that can be used. The type of Amber control is kind of weak, but it's there. No artifact control essentially, because Snudge is the only thing, you have to fight Reap with it, so it's going to be hard pressed, and I think a lot of people will remove it. You have a lot of creature removal, but it does hit yourself, except for the axioms, which if you plan correctly, then Saurians will likely be your main house. So all in all, definitely on the weaker side. I personally want to say 60 on the dot. I could see it ranging a little higher than that, depending on your rubric, but that's what I'm going to go with, 60 SAS. So here's a summary of the numbers that I've come up with so far for the AERC values and the total SAS number. As usual, I'll post at the DOK Keyforge page on the end of this video, just as a comparison for a established method of rating it versus how you would rate it yourself. And always take these comparisons with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, you won't really know until you try with the deck and see if you enjoy playing with that playstyle for one. The most important part is that you enjoy playing this game. So find a deck that's good for you and run with it. This one is not my cup of tea, but maybe it's yours. And if it is, let me know in the comments. If I'm missing anything, if you guys noticed some plays that I didn't bring up, feel free again to leave that in the comment section below. Definitely enjoy hearing from you guys, just to see how I can improve my videos. If you guys enjoying what I'm sharing, just love to hear your feedback. So that's everything for this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please consider liking and subscribing to help support the channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. And as always, be kind and happy forging!